EPCOT has unleashed farts. There's a new Universal hotel in town, and we say goodbye to Dinoland USA. It's your Disney and Universal theme park news the week of January 22nd. Hi guys, it's Matt again. I feel really low energy, and usually the only way to remedy that is with a huge pile of headlines. Energy's back. The 2025 Festival of the Arts has begun, and once again we have to ask the most important question. Did they know that the nickname of this festival is going to be farts? They had to, right? No way that they were presenting this to a boardroom and someone in the back didn't ask, "Hey, you know they're going to call this farts, right?" I assume that guy was promptly fired, leaving the building for the last time, all of his office possessions shoved into a file storage box, destined to become an office myth known as the farts guy. Cut to several years later, and we're in the middle of another year of farts. The EPCOT Festival celebrates the culinary, visual, and performing arts, which is a snooty way of saying there's a bunch of stuff to see, hear, and eat. There's 17 food studios this year, serving up a diverse menu of art-inspired food with a focus on artistic presentation. Don't forget to participate in the wonderful walk of colorful cuisine, where buying 5 of the participating dishes earns you stamps towards a complimentary figment-adorned Rice Krispie treat. Nothing says high-end cuisine than a Rice Krispie treat. And what would farts be without performances? The Disney on Broadway concert series features nightly shows from Broadway stars belting out those Disney favorites that everyone loves. Well, almost everyone. I'm talking about you, William Stewart of Allentown, Pennsylvania. We know you're the only one on the planet that hates Disney songs. Also, we've put you on a watch list, so don't even try to travel to Orlando. It's not happening. Farts is running this year through February 24th, and that makes Farts a short one. Rumor is that Disney is working on a fall version that they are internally calling their Spotlight on Heritage, Arts, Recreation, Theater, and Stories, or as it will come to be known simply as Disney's Sharts. It's starting to become real. Epic Universe is coming. As the first hotel of the new park, Stella is open to all who call Earth home. Honestly, I think you can book even if you're visiting from another planet, which is a huge step forward for galactic harmony. The new hotel is inspired by the unexplored vastness of the galaxies, which doesn't make much sense because we haven't explored it, so I guess they can just make up whatever and say that it's part of the unexplored vastness, so you guys just haven't seen it yet. Stella Nova's twin sister, Terra Luna, opens on March 25th, and together they offer the superb service and exclusive theme park benefits Universal hotels are renowned for, which is marketing speak that roughly translates to, you love our other hotels, and we promise that with these 2 new ones, we didn't shit the bed with a couple of Motel 8s. Go book your stay now. Well, finish my show and then go book. Or do both if you're one of those multitasking type of people. Head over to universalorlando.com for more information. Or head over to universalsteampumps.com for less information and more confusion. Let's head over to Disney's Animal Kingdom, where Dinoland USA is officially gone. Let's take a moment to reflect. Well, that's gone, which only means one thing. Tropical America's construction is underway. Last week, Disney held an official groundbreaking ceremony where executives grabbed shovels and pretended to do manual labor on the site of the former Dino-Rama. Construction walls have gone up, but Dinosaur is still scheduled to stay open for 2025 before undergoing its transformation into a new Indiana Jones attraction. Tropical America's is going to include a brand new Encanto ride, a sweet new fountain, and a carousel featuring carved Disney animal characters. I'm assuming they're characters carved from wood and not just carved up animal parts, but really that's just a guess. I don't have any insider information on that. So if you go to that carousel and have to put your child on the dismembered corpse of Baloo, that's not on me. Tropical Americas will open sometime in the future, but it's a safe bet that it won't be open in the next few weeks. I'm just trying to get ahead of any of those comments that just say, will it be open when I'm there on vacation? We leave on February 12th, 2025. No, it will not be open. It's the end of an era as Lil Joe and Inigo were permanently removed from the seas with Nemo and friends in EPCOT. The move is part of a broader effort to support animal rehabilitation in an effort to address Florida's manatee crisis. The new program will focus on short-term manatee rehab with new manatees expected to arrive in the future, as currently the exhibit is temporarily closed to guests. Did I say temporary? I don't know. I said manatees a lot. You say manatees too much in a sentence, it really freaks me out. The two manatees, there it is again, were relocated to the Gulfarium Marine Adventure Park in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. The two manatees were relocated to the Gulfarium Marine Adventure Park in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. I was almost 100% positive that the Gulfarium was a made-up place. Like when your parents would tell you that your dead pets had gone to live on a farm. Oh, where's this farm, Father? The farm is upstate. You don't know it. But we live in the northernmost part of the state. It's in another state. I meant to say the farm is in another state. Which state, Father? Fluffy's dead. I hit him with the car when I was coming home drunk, okay? Is that what you want to hear? Yeah, I might be reliving some childhood trauma that's only specific to me because the Gulfarium is a real place. Thank God. Thank God. I really didn't want to have to bury a couple of manatees like I had to bury Fluffy with my dad as he watched and screamed, "Are you happy? You couldn't just accept that he was living on a farm, could you?" Wow. The show got deep this week. While I go schedule a therapy session, take a look at this new Haunted Mansion sipper while I prepare to launch into the next entry that I promise will have absolutely nothing to do with death or the dead or the afterlife. There's a new dead person in Disneyland. Oh, come on! In a case of the absolute worst story placement of all time, the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland debuted a new bride in the attic. The bride replaces Constance Hatchaway, who appeared in 2006 and was known for killing her husbands. I don't see what the big deal is. Longtime Imagineer Kim Irvin said of the change, "The bride that used to be there was an axe murderer. We were celebrating someone chopping off their husband's head, and it was a weird story." We thought, what if we changed the story back a little bit to the original story that the Imagineers had about a lost bride in the attic mourning the loss of her husband? It was a sad thing. It was a story about lost love. So far, reactions have been mixed, which is a nice way of saying that people are losing their minds, with fans expressing concerns that we might lose the iconic stretching room suicide next. And that may very well be on the Disney chopping block, as Kim Irvin has said that it's something that Imagineers are looking at. But as of now, it's structurally complicated. It's a tough spot to be in for Disney with these classic updates. In the case of the new bride, they're clearly restoring the original intention of the attic scene. But when it comes to the stretching room, honestly, I don't know how I feel. I've never tried to look at it from the viewpoint of someone affected by suicide. It seems unusually cruel for me to dismiss anyone for finding it problematic just because I personally am not bothered by its morose black humor. And really, how much of my Haunted Mansion enjoyment would be diminished if it were removed? I honestly don't know. A very large part of me would probably fight against the change, but does that make me a hypocrite when I champion something like the removal of the Pirates auction scene and the transformation of Splash Mountain into Tiana's Bayou Adventure? Probably. It definitely highlights a selfish desire within, wanting desperately to cling to an aspect of a ride, even though my argument is simply, I like that part. That's the funny thing with nostalgia. It's not rational. And it's why I try not to attack those who want to preserve these rides. They just know that they'll miss that which has changed. And it's hard to get that back. I guess, honestly, I'll get over it. If we lose the hanging ghost host, I'll understand and eventually accept it and enjoy the replacement. But we're gonna have a real problem, Disney, if you ever come for that sexy 70s scientist on Spaceship Earth. Universal just dropped a ton of new merchandise for Epic Universe, and I can't even deal with it because every time I think about Epic Universe, my eyes roll into the back of my head and I start to drool because I'm so friggin' excited. This is a fun story. I'm going down opening weekend alone, like by myself. I didn't get my wife a ticket, and I feel kind of bad about that, but also, I think I just need some me time to be in the park without the hassle of dealing with other people in my party. I can just hear the complaints now. Why is it so crowded? I don't like Harry Potter. Didn't we go to Super Nintendo in Hollywood? Why do we have to go to this one? Why did you push that kid down and steal his popcorn bucket? Why did you tell that team member that you only have 2 months to live? Why did you tell the bride that you were single? Didn't you see Frankenstein's monster standing right there? I just don't have the time to deal with it. So I bought one ticket. Also, I'm not 100% sure if I'm still married, but that just gives me more time to try some of these new pickup lines on the bride. That kind of went off the rails pretty quickly, huh? What is this story even about, anyway? Oh, yeah. Yeah, a ton of new merch, including action figures, plushies, shirts, hats, branded turkey legs, I don't know, expired medication, industrial HVAC systems. I don't know. I mean, they're really putting that Epic logo on anything. I don't usually cover a ton of parks merch because, honestly, who has the time to update it all? But you slap a classic Mickey on a shirt and make it about World Showcase, and you've got me. I want every single one of these, and I'll just wear them every day on rotation. I think I might go book a trip just to buy them all. And don't let me get down there just to find out that they're on Shop Disney. It's just another reason to go experience farts. You'd think that joke would get old with me, but no. Even at the age I am. 50 years ago, Space Mountain debuted at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. After the success of the Matterhorn bobsleds, Disney wanted to follow it up with a similar coaster attraction but set it in space. Disney legend John Hinch designed the iconic enclosure of what would soon become Disney's first ever indoor roller coaster, Space Mountain. It debuted as part of the Magic Kingdom's Tomorrowland expansion on January 15th, 1975. And since then has traveled to Disneyland, Tokyo Disneyland, Hong Kong, and the Jules Verne-inspired take on the classic ride at Disneyland Paris. Do you guys love Space Mountain? I've known a ton of people who think it's the best ride in the park, but I guess they've never been on Haunted Mansion, so I guess I'll allow it. I've even had people argue that it's better than Cosmic Rewind, so it definitely has its fans. What do you guys think about Space Mountain at 50? Greatest of all time, or way past its prime? Let me know in the comments. For today's feature, I was thinking about some classic Disney park designs and wondering just where Imagineers got their inspiration. Turns out that many of them take their cues from real-life spots from around the globe. I call this segment Fact Check. Main Street, USA. Let's start with an easy one. Main Street, USA was inspired by Walt Disney's hometown of Marceline, Missouri, which was really just a stand-in for any early 20th century small-town Main Street. However, let's face it, the resemblance is more thematic and conceptual than an exact replica. I mean, have you ever stopped into a small town and had a trolley full of people hop out and start singing and dancing? You have? Man, you have lived one weird life, my friend. Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella Castles. Sleeping Beauty's castle was inspired by the opulent architecture of Neuschwanstein, a chateau in the Bavarian hills of Germany. Walt was said to have visited the famous landmark on a family trip in 1952 and told Imagineers to slap some pink and blue paint on it and call it a day. Also, I'm not completely sure of the validity of those events. Might have been a little more thought put into it, but what do I know? It also served as the inspiration for Cinderella's castle, but I'm sure the directive here was just take Disneyland's castle and make it bigger, which is exactly what they did. I'm such a great historian. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Hey, are you making a ride inspired by the Old West? Well, just go take a couple pictures of Monument Valley in Arizona and then go build that around your new runaway Minecart roller coaster. And that's exactly what Imagineer Tony Baxter did to create the iconic Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. The Jungle Cruise. When the Jungle Cruise was being built, Walt Disney wanted it to be as accurate as possible. While the ride itself was inspired by the 1951 film The African Queen, the design of the river itself was based on the Zambezi River in Africa. It's unclear whether the Zambezi is the original location of the eighth wonder of the world, the backside of water. I'm going to guess that it is. Radiator Springs Racers. Cars was practically a love letter to Route 66, so when it came time to create the Cadillac Mountain Range and Radiator Springs Racers in DCA, Imagineers used the Cadillac Ranch roadside attraction as an inspiration. A bonus fact, Cadillac Ranch is my favorite dipping sauce. Royal Summer House in Epcot's Norway Pavilion. Ever look at the unique grass-roofed Royal Summer House? Ever look at the unique grass-roofed Ever look at the unique grass-roofed Royal Summer House and think, what could you have We're gonna do this again. Even slower. Ever look at the unique grass-roofed Royal Summer House and think, what could have possibly inspired that? Nailed it, first try. The answer would be the Sverresborg Trondelag Folk Museum. And no, come on! You can't even say this. Why do I insist on covering names that I'll never ever be able to pronounce correctly? Matterhorn Bobsleds and Expedition Everest. Okay, you guys are not going to even believe what these two attractions are based on. The Matterhorn Bobsleds were based on Mount Everest. And Expedition Everest was based on the Matterhorn Mountain. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't they just reverse this? They were so close to getting it right. You'd expect this sort of thing out of Six Flags, but not at Disney. What? Oh, I got them mixed up. Oh, well, I wish this was something we would have gotten straight before filming, but now here we are, awkwardly staring at each other. Here's a video of a cute puppy. Let's forget this ever happened. But let's not forget the show ever happened. If you'd like a transcript of today's show, then you weren't paying attention, and I resent you for that. If you have any opinions on anything that we covered, then let me know down in the comments. As for me, I'm going to go round up some more news so that we can do this again real soon. Until next time... Oh, wow, I really felt like I was about to come up with a great catchphrase to end the show, and then nothing. Really, that kind of sounds like a metaphor for this entire show, doesn't it?